The American Revolution, a defining moment in American history, was not a sudden event, but rather the culmination of years of growing tension between the American colonies and Great Britain. The seeds of this conflict were sown in the aftermath of the French and Indian War, also known as the Seven Years' War, which ended in 1763. The war had left Great Britain with a massive debt, and the British government sought to recoup some of the losses by imposing taxes on the American colonies. The colonists, however, felt that they should not be taxed without having representation in the British Parliament. This sentiment was fueled by the idea of salutary neglect, a period where the British government largely allowed the colonies to govern themselves. The first major point of contention was the Stamp Act of 1765, which imposed a tax on a wide range of paper goods, including newspapers, legal documents, and even playing cards. The colonists protested vehemently, arguing that they should not be taxed without their consent. While the Stamp Act was eventually repealed, the British government's attempt to assert its authority over the colonies only served to further inflame tensions. In 1767, Parliament passed the Townshend Acts, which imposed taxes on goods imported from Great Britain, such as tea, glass, and lead. The colonists responded with boycotts of British goods and harassment of British customs officials. The British response was to send troops to occupy Boston, further escalating the conflict. The tensions continued to simmer, culminating in the Boston Tea Party of 1773, where colonists disguised as Native Americans dumped 342 chests of tea in a Boston harbor in protest of the Tea Act, which had granted the British East India Company a monopoly on tea sales in the colonies. This act of defiance was a turning point, leading to the passage of the Intolerable Acts by the British Parliament, which further restricted the colonists' rights and freedoms. The Intolerable Acts, coupled with the growing sense of injustice and the desire for self-governance, ultimately led to the outbreak of the American Revolution in 1775. The colonists, now united in their cause, fought for their independence, culminating in the signing of the Declaration of Independence in 1776. The American Revolution, a war of ideas and ideals, would ultimately shape the course